these people fail to see the importance of psychology within graphic design. But let me show you just how important it actually is. If you really want to be serious about graphic design and your trade or your craft, then you really need to take into consideration psychology and implement it into your work in different ways. For example, imagine a design for a non-profit organization that aims to raise awareness and funds for a social cause through social media campaigns. Now, if the designer leverages emotional design by incorporating authentic and impacting visuals that evoke empathy, this can build a connection between the audience and the people affected by that cause. Psychology will go into the color choice, the typeface style, the layout, even the wording used on the design. And granted, the wording likely won't be decided by the designer, but also the imagery used will come down to psychology as well. In fact, all of these choices should have their roots in psychology. Humans are psychological beings, and as designers, we're making visual communication for specific people. And so you need to know how these people think and how they react, and that comes down to psychology. When you realize this and implement it into your graphic design work, big changes will happen. And that's why this is the first thing today that you should change and consider about your workflow, and that is incorporating psychology. So the next thing that really changed the way I work as a graphic designer is actually pretty simple, but at the same time, hugely powerful. Doing this next thing meant that instead of spending most of my day doing tedious tasks, all while wanting to design actual things, I now had way more time to work on actual design projects. Automation in a graphic design workflow is a superpower in of itself, but here are a list of different things you can automate in your workflow to save time and just make things a whole lot more efficient. Use email automation tools to set up automatic responses or updates for common client inquiries. This ensures that the clients receive timely information even when you're not actively checking your emails. The next thing I started to work into my design workflow was creating templates for very specific situations. You can of course download templates from places like Envato Elements, which is linked in the description box below by the way, and then customize them to fit your style, your branding, or your approach. Or of course, you can design templates from scratch. You can create templates for your go-to design projects. It's super handy for stuff like social media graphics, presentations, or marketing materials that have a similar vibe or structure. Now, Adobe has something that not many people know about or use, and actually it's a huge automation time saver. So batch processing is a really cool feature in Adobe Creative Cloud apps, and this lets you make the same edits or tweaks to a bunch of files all at the same time. Instead of going through each file and doing the same thing over and over again, you can let the software do the heavy lifting for you. So choose File, Automate, and Batch. At the top of the dialog that pops up, select your new action from the list of available actions, and in the section below that, set the source to Folder and click the Choose button and select the folder that contains the images you want to process for editing. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have the A word, artificial intelligence. Explore AI-powered design tools that can automate certain design tasks, such as generating layouts, cropping images, or suggesting color themes. It all goes towards saving time as a graphic designer, and that is a true gift from the heavens. Now, I don't personally use AI to design things. Well, actually, the only instance where I use AI to design something would be for YouTube thumbnails or maybe the odd YouTube graphic. But in my actual life as a designer, I use AI to plan and to create strategies. The biggest way I personally use it is for collecting data on target audiences for, say, example, a logo design project, and also in generating ways to prepare something like a presentation. I only ever use AI as a starting block or to build a kind of a template or something like that. The actual creativity and initiative comes from me, myself personally. But since having started using AI, my career and my workflow has changed in terms of how fast I am and how targeted my approach is. At the end of the day, it's a tool, of course, and it just makes a whole lot of sense to pick up and to use. Now, the next change I made might just be the most important thing in today's video. Even though everything is really important, this one kind of stands out by being just a bit more important. It requires totally changing the way you think about graphic design, about being a designer, and what that entails at the other end. This will then lead to better clients, more work, and a successful career. When a graphic designer gets into design thinking, they're not just about making things look cool anymore. It's more like they switch gears to really get what users and audience want and need. This way of thinking adds a whole new layer to their skill set. Design thinking, as opposed to trying to be an artist or a creative, requires designers to think in a strategic way about the bigger picture. Graphic designers who offer design thinking services become partners to the client. They provide solutions that align with a broader business goal and objective. Your designs are supposed to add value to a business and also to help that business grow or to change. Now, this is what separates those graphic designers who still think they're an artist and those who fully understand the role of graphic designer in the corporate world. Now, I know that quite a few designers out there have a problem with the next point in today's video, but it's really important to survive as a graphic designer. Being cool with change is a big deal because the entire design scene is always shifting and changing. Trends, technology, and what clients want is always evolving. Think about how everything went digital in the past few years. Designers who didn't get on board with that had a harder time keeping up. But if you're the type who's really down to roll with the change, you're the one staying sharp and who's always learning and picking up the latest design tools, tricks, and methods. Let's say everyone's crazy about mobile devices right now. Of course. Designers who understand the change are all about making designs that look awesome and work great, no matter if they're checked out on a phone, a tablet, or desktop. It's not just about the tech though. I mean, client sentiment does change with time, and also how we actually design things, what materials and what equipment we use. That all changes. You need to be flexible mentally speaking so you can go with the flow rather than go against it. And then we arrive at the next thing that completely changed my career as a graphic designer. And let me tell you this, if you want to 10x your prices over the next couple of years, this is going to be just for you. Platforms like Instagram, Behance, Dribbble are the go-to places to flaunt your design skills to the world. But it is way more than just that. Imagine you're scrolling through Instagram and there's a designer posting awesome graphics and connecting with other designers and making real connections within the industry. That's the kind of situation that builds up your personal brand, gets you noticed, and opens the door for many different gigs, collaborations, and just being part of the graphic design scene. But it's not just about showing off and showing your work. Social media is a place where you can connect directly to potential clients and also discuss about things and projects with existing clients as well. Let's say you're stuck between two color options for a project, and then you throw it out there on Instagram or X or whatever. And in doing so, you can let your followers vote on which one they like the best. This is not only a cool way to engage with people, but also a smart move to understand what clients are looking for. Clients often cruise social media to find designers. Having a lively presence can make you stand out, and this might attract the kind of client who gets your style and wants to work with you. I know I keep saying it, but if you are serious about being a graphic designer, then social media is somewhere you must be building a presence in this day and age. But if you want to learn about more insane ways to improve your graphic designs in just a click of a finger, just click that video on screen. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.